모든 게 다 내 것이 될 수 있다고 가져와 take the crown 나의 시간이 됐어 저 검은 손에 쥐어진 잔을 내게로 가져와 내게로 가져와 그 잔을 내가 갖겠어 모든 걸 내가 갖겠어 세상을 내가 갖겠어 나 원해 저기 높은 곳으로 이제는 내가 가겠어 왕관을 탐내며 깊어져 되돌릴 수가 없을 만큼 가져와 take the crown 나의 시간이 됐어 저 검은 손에 쥐어진 잔을 내게로 가져와 내게로 가져와 그 잔을 내가 갖겠어 모든 걸 내가 갖겠어 세상을 내가 갖겠어 나 원해 저기 높은 곳으로 이제는 내가 가겠어 Must die 영원히 난 없어 두렵지 않아 그 잔을 내가 갖겠어 Must go on 잠시라도 줘봐 내가 갖겠어 이제는 내가 되겠어
Oh my god.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Boosted Bozos, and this week we have a very, very big guest. And I mean big by like She's probably 7'5", probably could dunk on me. It's Linda, aka iCrystallization, aka the number one EDG fan on Twitter. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. I'm very honored to be invited to a stream in general because I'm not much of a streaming person. So, this is a first, and I'm excited to talk about LPL and all the sufferings that we get from watching this region.
Oh, I get many sufferings. Definitely from my favorite player, Baolan. He hurts my feelings every day, and
Oh, not
and
Baolan.
and yet I keep him on the back of my phone every day, so I wake up and see the suffering. Anyway, you
That's true dedication.
it's
That
true.
is really
It's true that
true
if you want
dedication.
proof on the stream, I have a picture of him in my phone case. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Oh, it's from the photo shoot too.
hell yeah, my friend made it for me, so it's a nice
I
gift.
love that.
But yeah, yeah. Linda is wearing the flesh suit tonight. She
Yes,
hasn't done.
I'm sorry.
She isn't showing her true form because if she shows her true form, we will cease to exist. It's just too powerful. That's all you have to say.
That's
Uh,
true.
but like, I like to start the show with getting to know people. But I've decided to name the segment because I felt name segments are actually good, and they get you places. So I call this "How did you get here?" It's very aggressive. It's very
How
interrogational. How did you get in this position you're in right now? How did you leave your bed? No, it's like so. Like it's more like how did you come to enjoy League of Legends, aka mainly the LPL, but also like did you experience other games beforehand and what path did you go down to get? And also I think you might have spoken about this on other shows and podcasts. I do my research.
you know,
But
Thank you.
like
I'm
obviously
honored.
please re-enlighten the many listeners tonight.
Oh God, where do I begin? When did I walk? Where did it all go wrong with my life that I'm here now? Not not on your stream, but that I'm here now in
Oh no,
esports and LPL.
this is the lowest point you can get to now. You're appearing on talk shows.
Exactly broadcasting my hobbies of esports. Ugh, disgusting. No, but okay, so I guess all right. So it all began when Riot decided to market their players as actual human beings, and they
Oh.
released, Legends Rising,
Oh.
and Clear Love was in Legends Rising season 2. And there was like there's this one shot of him where he comes back home and he's with his parents and they're walking back to his parents' house, and he talks to his parents. He's like, "Oh, did you get the money I sent you?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, we got it." And he's like, "Have you figured out where you're going to move?" And they're like, "Oh, not yet." And he's like, it's such a casual thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I just felt like it was very sweet of him to just like, just send money back home. Like that's just something that he thought that he should do. And it came off so offhanded, but it really stuck with me. And, you know, seeing as how lucky I am, that year it was Worlds 2016. So I got to see EDG in all their glory
Oh.
on the on the big world stage, and it was bad. It was really bad. I was like, you know what? This is my team. This
Mm.
is the team I'm gonna stick with for the rest of who knows. Yes, I know League of Emily, the year they lost to INTZ in the group stage. I know that very well. Okay.
We don't
I
need to
know
be
th-
reminded.
I know that was the year that Clearlove was voted as the fourth strongest player coming into the tournament. And did he deliver? Absolutely not. And I thought, wow, my favorite player right there. But
Ah,
I think
the I'm not living up to expectations. the
exactly.
the
I was
best
like,
mood.
he's so relatable. No, but I think that seeing them, I don't know why. I guess like I have this instinct where if a lot of people are hating on something, I'm just like I have to care for it and nourish it. So I was like, EDG, I will care for you. And well, ever since then, it was like, yeah, that's been my life. It's been a lot of suffering. I haven't really gotten a lot back
Ah,
from it, but we're here. We're still here.
but I mean, when you suffer for so long, even the smallest return of anything, it feels like you've just won Worlds.
Yeah, coming from Mr. We actually won Worlds,
Hell
Mr.
yeah.
IG fan
Yeah,
who actually won Worlds.
and it's been a nice time after that. I totally swear I've not questioned my existence with this team ever since that Worlds victory. I mean, after 2019 spring is when I started questioning everything. But yeah,
Oh yeah, if the great MSI TL
yeah. If we
back.
the best quote that sticks with me daily is, if we subbed in a dog, we would have probably won that game. Ning, and yeah, that's just IG, because please stop subbing in the dog.
Then you start thinking to yourself like, why did we not sub in a dog
Oh.
instead of having our players actually play? Because well, we all saw what happened, and maybe a dog, at least a dog, would have made it cute and entertaining instead of like
we have Rookie, we have Baolan. That's all you need for cuteness. And then you have the Shy, who's a good looking man, and when he smiles, you get terrified because is he a psychopath? What is this? Why are you smiling like that, sir? Stop.
But it's hard to take the Shy seriously when he overextends and then he dies like 5 times on Kennen, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I find it funny when the LPL Twitter earlier decided to say Kennen was his favorite champion. I was like, yeah, I wonder why.
What an icon.
But we're not here to talk about the Shy, even though I would wish to talk about him for about an hour of just slamming him constantly for how much pain he's put me through. But my first question about you is translation. Now, you've translated a few pieces. Definitely the most recent one was the Huanfang piece, the big piece. I'm not talking about just tweets, because they come as a translator. They help the community so much to grow. But one of the ones I really liked was the IG interview about the mountain, and I think I asked you about using some of it in a different piece.
Yeah, I remember.
But how did you get into translating? Was it just a natural process of being able to speak another language and be like, hey, I could just do this because it's cool? Or was it just a thing of, oh, there's a space here, I'm going to occupy it?
So it's actually pretty interesting how the whole translating thing started, because it wasn't really born out of like, oh, I know Chinese, so I can translate these things.
Oh, okay.
But it was more so that I have a friend who, I don't know if you know her on Twitter, but on Twitter her name is Gift Shinku, and she's a big Deft fan.
I think I know her.
Yeah, and Deft was on EDG during Worlds 2016, and after they completely bombed out of that tournament, people were like, yeah, this is gonna be Deft. He's gonna leave. He's gonna leave after this. Like it's run its course. And so I befriended her, and I remember that she needed help translating Deft's like farewell video that EDG made. And I was like, oh, well, I can help out with that. And so I made the translations, and then she subbed the video. And then we kind of had this thing where if there was some kind of EDG content, we would just like, I would translate it and she would sub it, and we would just like bounce off of each other like that. And then just like, I guess naturally, I just started, I downloaded Weibo and I started looking at other things a bit more, because I felt that there, you had the interviews, like the typical player interviews. They're like, what were your thoughts around this draft? And they're like, we picked Oriana because he is good at it. Wow. What did you think about the enemy? They were not good. Amazing. And then you just move on to the next interview.
Yeah.
So I thought that, it'd be fun to just hear how the players are usually, and that they're not just like, oh, the LPL, it's the Walmart LCK or whatever version or that. So I started off by like, obviously with Clear Love. So I looked a bit at like, he was streaming. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just translate some of the things that he says on stream. And then it kind of just evolved after that into a bit more like articles or interviews that weren't just post-match interviews, but like, actual interviews with media outlets that were a bit more fun and a bit more diverse. So that's how it went.
If I to be fair, I don't think I don't think you were the first to translate stream highlights and stuff, but if you were like one of the first people to look at that, like I wasn't around in League of Legends Twitter back then, or like League of Legends in like 2016, 2017, so I didn't really notice anything. But like I see a lot of people I know now, they'll translate like rookie stream highlights, or like Wink and the Shy, like they're talking behind while Rookie's streaming, and they're all laughing at each other. And so maybe you've caused a trend there.
Oh God, no! Don't say that. That's way too much. No, no, no. I guess I think LPL or just League of Legends has gotten a lot more mainstream recently,
Mm,
and I think it's become at least more mainstream on Twitter because I've
yeah,
seen a lot of translation accounts pop up as well that translate things that aren't just interviews. So that's made me very happy because it gives a bigger reach to a more English speaking audience that don't necessarily have access to the same websites that like I
yeah,
guess people who are more familiar with Chinese internet would have.
yeah. And it.
But
Oh,
I definitely don't think that I set some kind of trend or something.
I mean, you could take it either way. Uh, but moving on. So obviously we've spoken about EDG already. It feels like we've already spoken about EDG a lot. But what? So you said the first time you knew EDG was with Clear Love through Legends Rising.
Mm.
I'm forgetting my words. Obviously that's older LPL in a way because that's like it's almost 5 years ago if you think about it. Like
Please
it.
don't remind me of the passage of time.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I've been reminded all week of how old I'm getting, and I'm like, I'm not even that old yet, I swear. But, so, the older LPL, I like to ask people, because usually most of my guests know nothing. Sorry, Enix, Dabus, Trajan. They know nothing about the LPL. They know, haha, FPX, IG, One World, right? TS were good, right? Suning, yeah? They don't know, like, IME or, like, EDG,
They-
or, like, they might know old OMG. I think Enix mentioned San, and I was like,
Mhm.
hell yeah, that's my boy right there. But did you do you know what's your experience with the older LPL? So like going and those kind of people.
To put it lightly, I would say that I guess your guests did not experience the years that LPL sucked because
Yes.
we sucked. We sucked big time. Like, oh my God, it wasn't even funny how bad we were. Oh, sorry, I had some war flashbacks back in the day.
I could see.
Yeah.
Oh,
IME is definitely a team that people forget existed. Maybe that's a good thing, League of Emily. Maybe we should forget
the
what
thing
IME
the
was.
thing is, I can't not forget Aime because I love the name Aime. It's just a
Oh,
cool name, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think this team's cool, and I click on it and I do my research, and I'm like, ah, wait a minute, this isn't what I expected.
Right. I mean, I guess older LPL was, we meme a lot about how LPL teams they don't care. They're very headstrong. They play their own style. But I think it's after I would say some people would point to IG winning Worlds as like the turning point for LPL. But
Hmm.
I would say that, and I've had this conversation with other people, that it was during Rift Rivals 2017 where LPL teams were like, wait a second, we can cooperate?
We can do
We can
things.
talk to each other? We don't have to we don't have to hide in our bases and never share information. There's like this really famous picture of 2017 Rift Rivals where all the LPL coaches they're like standing outside in a parking lot discussing and there's like a light coming down on them, like some premonition of the future. But yeah, before that LPL teams were very, you know, I'm gonna do my thing.
Mm,
Like team wise, the teams were just stuck like team by team, and they didn't really talk a lot with each other. So like EDG did EDG's thing, and RNG did RNG's thing, and EDG and RNG would just not talk.
yeah,
And I'm not saying like, oh, talk us and they would leak scrims or whatever. No, but like they just wouldn't really, they didn't really want to scrim each other. They didn't really want to share
knowledge.
strats or whatever because
Mm,
they were afraid that something would happen. So there was definitely a turning point in Rift Rivals 2017, and I see that LPL has gotten a lot more confident in their style. Like before, it was kind of like we just sucked,
yeah,
but people were like, "Oh, look at them tower diving at 5 minutes. Oh, it's so cute." But now it's like they will tower dive at 5 minutes, but they will know how to do it.
yeah,
So it's like,
and it's like it's a
right,
thing where other regions are like, They're gonna tower divers at 5 minutes. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Please,
Exactly.
leave me alone.
Exactly. And before it was just like,
Oh, that's cute.
what are you doing? Before it was like, they were kind of like the other teams were like, is that a tower at 5 minutes? There's nobody there. And then they would die off of it. But now it's different. It is different. It's not the same. So I would definitely say that the LPL teams have found a more confident style, and that they of course they'll pick up things from other regions, but now I would say that even though they lost the last Worlds, I would say that most LPL teams are still confident, like, we are the best region, so we're just gonna do our own thing.
And then you have IG saying, we're still the best LPL team, I swear. And
Well,
just turbo running every game.
Well, IG is a special case, and they've always been a special case.
Hell yeah.
Since the days of Kid and Cacao and all of those people, it's been a...
all I'm saying is our owner has 100% win rate in LPL. No one else has that, I swear. So, yeah, you can't beat us.
You are right.
We just
I can't deny that.
Jackie Love played Tom Kench. Hell yeah. Why are you saying please rescue Rookie? No. He's mine. He stays.
I think I'm sorry, but I think Rookie is, it's like Stockholm syndrome. I think it's just IG syndrome himself to that team.
Yeah, he left KT and joined a similar team that was not gonna let him leave now.
But also, you guys won Worlds. You can't complain about. You have World skins.
Yeah.
Do you know what I have? I have MSI 2015. I'm clutched onto.
That's more than most LPL teams. Let's be real. TS have what mid-season? Was it the mid-season cup thing they did last year? Wow,
that's true.
Wow,
that is true.
Good job, TS. Not MSI though. Unlucky.
We're like those rich spoiled people at the top. Like, well, you have 15 boats and I only have 10 boats, and then the other LPL teams are like, could I have like a raft?
Yeah, can I have a raft so I can actually get out there? Maybe. No. Okay, I'll stay here. But okay, so we've spoken about how the other regions looked at LPL and gone, that's cute. What are you doing? And now it's more like, oh god, what are they doing? They're gonna kill us. They're gonna kill us. It's zoom on Renekton. Run. He's killing me. But like back in your past with League of Legends, did you watch much other regions, or was it exclusively LPL? Did you watch LCK? It'll be EU LCS, now LEC, or NA?
So when I first started out with like LoL esports, I just maybe I should say in my youthful days, even though I'm not old, but in esports years, I might as well be ancient. But I watched, and this is gonna sound crazy, but like my time zone is very well adjusted for all the regions. So I would start off by I would watch LPL and LCK if they were on at the same time. I would have like both screens on my screen, and then I would watch like EU LCS in the afternoon, and then the NA LCS at like midnight or night, and I would just do that for the entire year.
I mean,
I don't know why I did that.
I did that last year, as in, wait, was it 2019 or 2018? Actually, no, 2019. Wait, I said 2019 as if 2019 was last year. It's 2021. Holy, I've lost.
Time is fake.
Time doesn't exist. But yeah, I did that 2019 summer. I literally would go downstairs, I'd watch everything all day. My family would be like, are you okay? You're just sitting there watching stuff. And I'm like, I'm enjoying life. This is fun. And they're like, you're not healthy.
They're like, should we call someone? And you're like, no, I'm fine. I have Rookie. And they're like, yeah, we're calling someone.
I have a guy called Rookie, and they're like, a guy called what? Are you going through stuff again? Is it your imaginary friend? Has he returned? But yeah, I used to do that as well. It gets draining. Like, I struggle to watch a lot of League of Legends right now. I can only watch LPL. And like,
Especially with the schedule change,
yeah,
like LPL being every day.
and also my bedtime is at 4 a.m. and I wake up at midday, so I miss most of the LPL, so I have to watch the VODs. Luckily, the VODs are now very readily available. I don't have to go scouring the internet for about an hour to find them.
That's true. And then you can also fast forward them, so you don't have to sit through the shy running it
Yeah.
down 8 times in a row.
I just watch IG at 2 times speed, and it's over.
Exactly.
It's over in 10 minutes, and I'm happy now. I can go do something else, even though I have nothing else to do. But yeah, that's how I consume it. But so you watched everything for a while. Did
Right.
does any memory stick out of like games you saw, or any like players or things you were like, wow, what a moment?
I think the biggest moment for me was probably Summer Split LPL 2017 when EDG reverse swept RNG in the finals.
Oh,
And it was also iBoy's like first finals, and he had only had like a handful of games with the team. Because I remember watching it and I was like, yeah, this is over. This is done. It's fine. It's whatever. I'll just take second place. I'm fine with it. But then they actually pulled off a reverse sweep, which was it was so cool.
so you did the original Cloud9. Surely they'll never come back from 2-0, right? And went to bed.
I mean, I always say that in my mind, but then I just stick around and I actually watch the thing. Yeah.
I'm seeing someone in chat saying, "Do not go into LEC.
Oh,
Guess LEC Linda, I guess, or the Fnatic backstory. What is the Fnatic backstory? I think I've heard about this, but
okay.
please
So
enlighten."
the Fnatic backstory. Is this the part where I get like canceled on Twitter? Is this like my
I
expose Linda thread?
I don't think it's possible to be cancelled if you're a fan of Fnatic.
Oh, it is possible, let me tell
Oh
you.
god.
Okay, so the reason why I started watching LoL esports to begin with was because I played League of Legends before, and then I didn't really do anything with the hashtag Linda's over party. I get
Ah,
that rolling.
it's
But
doomed.
exactly, so I didn't really know much about the esports scene. Like I knew about the XPK moment, like
Yeah, yeah.
those like big moments. But I wasn't super familiar with League of Legends esports. And then one time I was pretty sick and I was lying on my couch and watching TV and it was like IEM Katowice. Yeah, IEM Katowice 2016 and Fnatic was playing. And I remember I was like, wait a second, this is League of Legends. I recognize this game. I know what they're doing. I know what a minion wave is. I
Wow.
know what a turret is. Look at that.
Holy.
But yeah, whoa. And then, back then they didn't have as many crazy plants and stuff and blasting plants and blasting whatever and 4 different spells that you can use to get out of jail free card. But it was like super fun to actually watch something and kind of like understand the basics and the setups and the rules. It just made you feel like you were in on something special, like my mom walked by and she was like, what are you watching? I was like, Mom, you wouldn't understand. It's esports. Maybe she should have stopped me, honestly, in hindsight. But yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And I remember Fnatic were like the underdogs in that tournament. And I was like, well, everyone likes an underdog story. So I started like following Fnatic as my first esports team. And since EU LCS was like in the same time zone, I was like, all right, I guess I'll watch EU LCS. And yeah, then it
Ah.
kind of went from there. Fandom skeletons, we all have our
I
dark
mean,
past. It's
back
like,
in the day of esports, I used to play Call of Duty all the time, and I was a bit of an Optic fanboy for a long time. And then Nadeshot made his own one called 100 Thieves, which I'm still a fan of, and they're the reason I watch League of Legends. But that Optic skeleton isn't as bad. But what worse was that I used to think FaZe was the better team.
oh.
So yeah, take what you will. I used to be a FaZe fanboy. Yeah, FaZe up in it. Get me out. But
So what I'm taking from this is that we should just not stand European teams because they will just bring us.
well, FaZe are American, so it's even worse.
Oh wait, yeah, that's true.
Well, they had
We should just not.
just Western orcs. No.
No, but then look at us. Look at us. We're
Yeah,
two.
wait.
We're an IG fan talking to an EDG fan. Like
And
the way.
I can't say go stand T1 either. So it's like
Right. So
let's.
it's like we're
I've got a compromise.
doomed. Doom.
VCS. That's where we go.
We go to these, we go to the LMS, except the LMS doesn't even exist anymore.
PCS. They're cool people.
Maybe we should go to the Japanese league, like the LJL.
I
or
have
something.
watched a bit of Japanese League of Legends. It's very fun. It's a fun experience when the Japanese guys just start screaming, and you're like, I don't know what's happening. Something's happening.
But you're like, I like it, so.
But moving on. Sadly, this week, unlike the last weeks, we won't be consulting the wheel for a new favorite, or a favorite team to support for the LPL because it's quite obvious. Linda supports EDG. She doesn't have a team to where we can say, now you're a Suning fan, which Suning has come up twice out of 3 times, which is annoying as hell. So,
oh wow,
the wheel will not be consulted yet. So, sorry. So we'll have to go on to the next segment, which is the usual. I call it the homework segment. I usually set my guests a homework game to go watch, or a series to watch. This time I decided, you know what? Let me throw some spicy games on there. I threw the EDG, the last EDG series on there, the one they 2-0'd. I was like, that could be a fun series to watch for the new people, because it's usually aimed at new people who are coming to the LPL. Like, hey, go watch this and tell me what you thought about it. We've had someone go watch TT, and they're like, I had no idea who these guys are, but they picked Seraphine Karma and I love them. And I was like, damn, that's cool. So I was like, you know what? Let me throw a spicy game on there. Let me throw the FPX IG game and pray it doesn't get selected. Of course, the wheel does whatever the wheel wants to do and picks FPX IG. So Linda and I think everyone watched the FPX IG game. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, I enjoy slating IG for a few hours, but I'll let Linda take the reins on this one. What were your thoughts heading into the series? So did you have any like, the Shy's gonna win top lane, or was it like, I know these people. Who is Bo? What's Bo doing? What were your thoughts, if you had any?
Oh yeah, does one need thoughts when they watch IG? I would recommend you to not have any thoughts. But going into the matchup, I did not expect it to go so handily in FPX's favor, and a 2-0 at that. Like, even if it was a 2-0, I expected it to be a bit more close. And sure, it was bloody, but FPX were always ahead in terms of gold and like objectives. They always had more turrets up than IG, and yeah, I was mostly surprised by that. That like, I'm not saying that IG kind of fell over and died, but well, they kind of did fall over and die, and another thing is that I was interested in the Shun and the Bo jungle matchup since they're both rookies. But I was more impressed by how, because Bo had like that crazy Olaf game in game 1 where he popped off and got like 16 kills. But I do think that FPX did a great job in like facilitating him. Like Crisp always walked with him, and Doinby, like, they held hands like, come here, son. Take my hand. I will lead you into the Raptors, and you can farm in peace, and then we will punch anyone who gets close to you. While Shun was just like, guys, help.
Anyone? Anyone there?
Yeah. Then the series that Shun threw away his super early advantage by jumping into mid and giving Bo a double kill. Well, he was just trying to do charity, Emily, okay?
So he felt bad. This is the backstory of Bo. Bo got MVP in LDL, and Shun won LDL. So Shun felt bad because the MVP deserves to win the league. So Shun was like, here, have a win. Yes. I feel bad for you. I stole your title.
He's just being a nice boy, alright? This is just...
Ning would never do anything like that.
Ning would straight up... Ning... Oh god, don't even get me started on Ning. No, I'm getting sidetracked. If I start talking about Ning, I'm gonna start talking about Ning for like 3 hours, which is not what I'm here for. But yeah, I think the matchup was that Bo felt, or FPX knew what they had to do with Bo, which is like, we'll help you, especially since his debut stage was against like SOFM of all people, and that was just, that was traumatizing to watch. Just, yeah. As a viewer, I can't imagine how it was like as a player, and they really try to boost his confidence in this series by being like, we're gonna roam with you, and we're gonna be with you, and I think that's good because, Doinby has never been like known for his laning phase. He's always been more known for like, I facilitate my team, and he played into his strengths well, especially going up against Rookie. He was like, I'm just gonna go with my team. Rookie can take over and dominate the lane, but I'll just, you know, I'm gonna keep an eye out for my little jungler and make sure he does well. Well, I think IG and I feel like this has been the story for IG ever since their loss at MSI. I think they never shook off that loss. Or wait, yeah, I think they can't really seem to figure out that they can't strong arm the same
Yeah.
way they did in the past. Like, yeah, the Shy is great, but he's up against Nuguri, and Nuguri, for all intents and purposes, is like a really great top laner. So you can't really do the same thing. And also, I know you're a huge Baolan fan, but I mean, Crisp was kind of.
Do you want to know something? I also have a crisp picture.
Oh, okay, well
and,
then.
and also, if you can see above me, I have the FPX poster for when they won Worlds, and I have a signed LWX picture next to me as well. That is, I won it from the FPX competition. Shout out them. So they're kind of like a second team I enjoy. So you can slate Balan as long as it's praising Crisp.
Okay, yeah. All right, because Chris was all over the place. Like he was all over the
Yeah.
map.
Oh my
He
god.
went top. He went like if Bo was gonna pull off a gank, Chris was gonna be there to follow up on it. And Baolan was kind of like I don't know if it was a shot calling thing or like individually but he never really matched up to that kind of roaming that Chris did, and it was kind of, as Papa Smitty would say, meandering a lot.
Yeah, it felt
Yeah.
when I was watching it, it felt like we were watching world champion Crisp appear again, and we was watching Balan from 2019 summer where he's just like, I don't know what's going on, guys. What's happening?
Right.
And then everyone else is like, we don't know what's happening. Why is this? They're like, they ping support missing. I don't think this actually happened in the game, but it felt like you were playing a game and you like ping the support's missing, and it's like, oh, he just recalled, and suddenly he's top lane now. After 2 seconds, it's like, how did he get there? Why is he? Oh, now he's mid. What? And he's teleporting. He's hacking. And yeah, it felt so insane to watch. Like, it seemed like they just figured it out again. FPX of like, oh, this team wants the strong armors. We're just gonna go back to what beat them at Worlds. And it felt like they'd done what they tried to do with TN in the past, where they helped TN a bit. But now Bo was like, haha, I'm just the better jungler, and he just went crazy, and it hurt.
I'm sorry. I mean, it hurt for me too, but in a different way. It was more of a, for you, it was like as a fan, and for me, it was just like as somebody who wishes IG could turn on the brain cell once in a while.
Yeah.
Just like knock in there, but they didn't do that, and instead it was the whole Rookie is trying his best and everyone else is dying, which we've seen for the past like 2 years now at this point.
I do think as well, the fact that we don't have a head coach yet also doesn't help. Like, there was, I will say there was a leak / a rumor that we're signing Crescent from the XTS coach because he had a meeting with the IG manager, and my reply to that tweet was, "Wow, the IG manager's wearing Gucci. Is he a Ning fan?" Like, I just couldn't take it seriously because I was like, yeah, cool, we're gonna sign a head coach. They're still gonna do the same stuff. It's just that we have a head coach now. But like, I think that does play a bit into it. But also, that series just felt bad. I don't know. It just made me realize that we're not that good anymore. And I'm like, please. We had a good regular season last.
Right.
I will say the only thing that's good is that the last year we had the regular season. We were like really good. We were like first and third seeds. And we could have got second seed in summer, but someone decided to pick Zed in a for fun game when he could have actually just won. But it happens.
It happens.
So
it happens.
So whatever that. So like, and then we go into playoffs and we run it. We turbo run playoffs every year because we have a good regular season. Now we're having a very off regular season. Playoffs,
which
maybe. Playoffs, maybe.
Exactly. Because maybe this is reverse psychology.
Because 2019, when we won 2019 spring, FPX were the best team in the league. We weren't that good. FPX ran it down. We won. That's how I'm gonna get through this spring. As long as we make playoffs, it's a 10 team playoff. We can do the gauntlet run. Gauntlet Rookie never loses, unless it's LGD.
Oh God, please don't. LGD in itself is already a tragic tale, which like none of us really want to get into. Oof, boy. But yeah, I mean, it really does feel like IG has just, I don't know if they're stuck with it. I mean, they've never really had this huge respect for coaches, if I putting it as lightly as possible. I'm not, and they're still a good team, but they're not top tier as, let's say, I can't believe I'm saying this, EDG.
Yeah, when is that gonna crumble? We'll get onto that later.
Probably. But speaking currently, yeah, um, they're good, but they're not, as you said, they're not the same as they were back then. I mean, the IG that won Worlds was truly a one of a kind powerhouse, really, and the IG leading up to MSI before the TL loss were also the same. I think one thing though is that it might be that they'll actually learn, because last year when they placed like first place in the spring or like top three in spring and summer, it's because they kept getting away with these mistakes where it's like, why is this shy allowed to pick a AD carries in the top lane? Stop letting him get away with that. Stop it.
I will say he only picked it in 2 series because he picked it the first series, hard stomped 2 games, and then they got permabanned. And then I think it's Vici or no DMO. I can't remember. It's like it's one of like the lower teams that like picked it, and it was like, you just sentenced yourself to death. He's only playing it in solo queue. Like this is the only champ he plays. You're gonna lose. He's a one trick.
Exactly, but it's like you can't feed the egos of IG because well, now it's different because they have new players. I think Wink is I think he's a very solid player in the IG versus FPX series. Like he had a few mistakes. There was like one, I think it was in game 2 where he kind of it's the part before FPX takes Baron and Rookie's left alone. He's like trying to get them low, and it's the whole Rookie show again.
Yeah.
But it's like the team fight before that where he kind of ults in immediately on Kai'Sa, and then he gets like, he implodes after it. I think that but like other than that, he's been pretty solid so far. And then Rookie, it's Rookie, he'll be fine. And Shun, you can always say that Shun is a newcomer to the league. It's different for him. He's gonna need time to like settle in, and that's a fair and valid explanation. As for Baolan and the Shy, I'm not really sure.
The only issue is with Baolan is that our backup supports, I think it's Snow and Southwind, or is it Lucas? I get Snow and Lucas mixed up all the time. Those backup supports aren't that good either. Like Southwind is okay. He's serviceable, but he's like defensive. He's not gonna make a play that's like ridiculously insane or like actually be aggressive. And then you also have, I think, the other backup support who also played when Baolan was out in 2019. He doesn't look that good, in my opinion. It's usually the ADC that made him look pretty good. He's kind of... So it's like, and I remember some people saying, why didn't PP go to IG? Well, that's because in our next topic, which we spent a lot of time on this, we can move on to now. PP God's a member of V5 who also are now stationed in Shenzhen. Stationed? Is that the word? Kind of. Anyway.
Yeah, basically.
So V5 need a franchise player, which would be PP God or Mole. Depends on which one they want to go with, but they're not going to let PP God go. But the topic is, I have spoken about this before, is regional teams. We've got Beijing RNG and JDG, Xi'an and EDG, Shenzhen and V5. I think OMG are Chengdu. They're in the west. They're somewhere. I don't know where. I don't think they've turned up this season anyway. But
nobody knows what they're doing?
Yeah. Do you think this is like a cool thing, and could you see it work elsewhere?
Oh, having people be like regionalized the home fields? I think it works in LPL precisely because it is the LPL, and also infrastructure-wise. Like getting around in China has gotten a lot more practical with the trains, and like you don't have to take the flight. You can take these like bullet trains immediately to the different venues and such. While if, let's say, the LCS were to do it, I feel like that would be a lot more complicated because, first of all, like North America, do we include Canada in NA, or is it just USA?
Yeah. And NA is Canada.
And then also the US is like, now I'm not the biggest expert on how the infrastructure and the land surface looks like in America, but I do know that it's very it's very big. And like it's a lot of space.
It's big.
There's a lot of space, and there's not enough good like public transportation to really get around there. And I think it works in China is because yeah, thank you, Emily. There is no public infrastructure to get around the US. That's the answer for the US. And the same thing goes for Europe. Like Europe is sure it's not as big as the US, but there's like a bunch of countries. It's a continent. So that makes it even more difficult.
And it's also
where do we place them?
Like the UK, it's not part of the EU now, so you need a visa to travel here, and you need a visa.
Exactly.
So like those stuff can cause so many issues. I like to pose this question because with a lot of my friends, as you can tell, I'm an English person. I'm a bruv. We got a good accent here. And a lot of my friends, we're all European. It's like we watch a lot of EU Masters and like the regional leagues, and the regional leagues have huge followings. France, Poland, they have really good, passionate fans for just their country. And then when you go to EU Masters, it's marketed as France versus Poland or the German team versus the French. It feels like football in a way. But
right.
So like in the LEC, the teams aren't marketed as the countries they're from. Like I had no idea Fnatic was a UK org until like a year ago. I couldn't tell you.
Exactly.
Because I was like, oh, Fnatic Rising in the UK LC, that must be they just picked the place. And it's like, no, that's where they're from. Like, I knew XL were UK because they market themselves as the UK. So I felt like always felt like, maybe there's something there. And obviously, I think League of Legends and esports needs to be bigger because we've seen how bad it went with the Overwatch League. Like, it's not the greatest with homestands and stuff. Now, I think it brings different fans about coming in for like with I'm forgetting my words, but it brings localized fans like NYXL, a team that I like in the Overwatch League. They have a lot of New York fans. Now they're all a Korean team, but when they do their homestands, you have a lot of New Yorkers that go, and they even have on their Discord a New York meetup thing, which I think is really cute because they can all meet up in New York. And I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Aww,
well, obviously you have your international fans, but then you're gonna have your localized fans, which then I think brings like home and away bias at like crowds and stuff. And in China, you can hear it sometimes. But I do think it's also whether the team has fans or not. Like if IG goes somewhere, you have IG fans, but if you TT go anywhere, I think they have like one fan that's maybe there. Like you hear it.
Probably has 2 fans. That's probably 2 fans.
They have 2 fans, and then they hold up the whole of the Western Twitter.
Exactly.
They're just V5 all over again. But yeah, like I think in China it's a lot different. I think Korea, it might work.
Right.
It might. Like I can't say it will because I'm not someone that knows Korea that well. I've never been there. I'm a big fan, but I'm not like I know the train systems and stuff are insane. You'd have to talk to someone there. But I felt talking about Europe because I know Europe. I felt that maybe LEC could do something different where if they marketed places, I think they try to, but it's not as well. The teams need to do it themselves. Vitality market themselves as the French team. And then Fnatic versus XL would be the UK derby. It would be the Brubs fighting each other in London or something. Like, that's a cool thing to do. Because, like, that's like, oh, wow, we actually have teams in the UK. Oh, my God. And obviously, you can't do it right now because it's COVID. We're all online. But after, in a post-COVID world or a post-non-pandemic world, we'd have places where it's like 2 weeks in the season where the LEC goes to Madrid. And the LEC is in Madrid for those 2 weeks, and it's hosted by G2 because G2 are the Spanish team, and it's like, oh, they're the marketed team, and that would be like, I think would actually bring like some really cool things to LEC because now you not only have to travel to Berlin, but you'd also have you'd get people in Madrid like, oh crap, we can go see LEC, holy, and you'd have like a world's kind of semi-final kind of vibe, probably less so, but you'd have more like G2 fans there to watch G2. It's like, I'm also saying this because I want to see Fnatic versus XL, and I want to just talk crap about both teams while I'm watching it and being like, yeah, let's go UK. Like it would actually be like a traveling roadshow. It would be really cool because you do it for finals, you do it for playoff semi-finals / like that stuff. You do it already for that. Why couldn't you just do it for like just 2 weeks in the regular season and like every team is there? So it'd be. What, you're there for 2 weeks, you'd have, 20 games? altogether
Right.
over a week, over 2 weeks, which
Mhm.
would be really cool. But yeah, again, expensive. True, but we do it for worlds. That's my argument.
I think that would be an interesting suggestion instead of just going full on geolocation that the
Mm,
LPL does, because that is very exclusive to the LPL and it works because it is the LPL. It's hard to say, but it's basically it works because it's LPL. That's why. But in terms of, for example, Europe and LEC, if they did it with your idea of having like just 2 weeks dedicated to some country or some area where you could have like a host team. A host team
mm.
has their host country, and then maybe for 2 weeks they have it there. Maybe they could even have like I don't know some kind of mini tournament to decide what team gets to host. Who knows?
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah, and then like spur up more of the marketing and the whole like the passion and things like
Mm.
that. But it's probably the expense and the travel logistics that are the biggest question marks. But it would be interesting to see something like that happen.
But I'm not saying
But
like it has to be like a huge arena because Vitality have or like the French league in the like the EURLs like the regional league, they have
mhm.
their own little area, little arena. Poland has their own little arena as well. UK, we don't have one because no one likes esports here. It's just a fact. If you don't play Fortnite, what are you doing in your life? There's nothing here. But like it's usually XL that put it on. They put on the UKLC final in their own little area in Twickenham, which is cool. Like that would be that would actually be like this. Like I'm not talking about huge arenas. I'm talking more like the space of like how big the LEC arena like studio is. There are studios that big. I swear the French one has one, and I'm sure there's one in Poland. I couldn't say about Spain. I don't watch enough of Spanish, but yeah. Also, I think that would also work in NA, and I think a lot of issue with NA is like my friend. He lives in New York. He wants to go watch CLG versus TSM or something. It's in California. Do you know how expensive it is to fly from the East Coast to the West Coast?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do that. Whereas, like, I think NA could work a lot easier. But again, arena and space where you could do it. Unsure about that. But we spent time on geolocations. We raised a very cool point. So,
Wait, I need to read this
okay,
by in the chat where it says
go ahead.
LEC geolocation would end up with the team owners bare knuckle brawling to the death to claim Spain.
What is this? Is this the 1900s all over again?
We're traveling back in time.
Oh, to be fair, I would pay to watch Carlos v someone in a fight for
Oh my
Spain.
god.
The fight for Spain.
Yeah, it's not even esports anymore. It's like meet me at LAN, but like actually.
Literally. But like the people that like don't watch esports are like, what the hell? Who's fighting for Spain? What? They're all like confused, and now it's Carlos. He's just the face of Spain. But I think it's time before we get onto the wheel for our predictions, and I'm putting it off because I don't want to see how bad I did on predictions this week. It's time to do a different segment because we didn't get to pick the wheel. I told Linda about this just before. It's a quiz time. You can take part in chat. It's a multi-choice quiz. It's not as hard. There's 7 questions. Haha. You get it?
Clear love 7. Clear love 7. That's the joke.
Yeah, good joke, right, guys? I'm funny person right here. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, okay. So in chat, if you want to get involved, drop your answers in. Just get ready because some of these are banger questions.
Oh my god.
I hope you're ready because
I'm gonna be exposed as the fraud that I am.
Question number 1. Finish the statement. The LPL makes me feel like A psycho, B I am in pain, C I have ascended, D I don't know anything.
I mean, all of these are very valid, but I would say D.
D I don't know anything.
Yeah.
There's no correct answer on that because they're all correct.
Yeah.
I'm truly I have ascended kind of person watching Ning's jungle pathing.
Ascend? What? Excuse me? You ascend watching Ning's jungle pathing?
Because I don't need to understand the mere mortal's thoughts. It's a good answer, yes.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wow.
Okay. See, I told you very good questions.
Yeah, very good.
Question number 2. Your favorite gamer boy Clear Love. I think he's a gamer man now. I checked his age and I was like, geez, he's older than I expected.
Well, all right. I didn't come here to have my
No,
man
I
being
did no.
slandered
Okay, no.
on
He's a.
live.
I mean, I'm just saying he looks very young for his age. I was like, holy, he's actually
you.
that old. But
Thank you.
he
Thank
debuted
you.
for EDG in season 4.
Mhm.
What was his most played champion in the 12 games he played that season? A. Rengar, B. Jarvan, C. Kha'Zix, D. Lee Sin.
Oh my god.
I can hear people quickly googling. What did he play in season 4? What's Clearlo's known champion?
Lee Sin? D?
Are you sure you're going with Lee Sin?
He, jokes aside, he did play a lot of Lee Sin back in the day.
I see.
Or wait. Or is it
Oh.
Kha'Zix?
Oh.
He does like there's this running joke. Okay, I'm gonna go by running joke. I'm gonna say like Kha'Zix.
Are we locking Kha'Zix in?
Yeah.
You're correct.
Oh my god.
He played 6 games of Kha'Zix, 3 games of Rengar, 1 game of Jarvan, 1 game of Lee Sin, and 1 game of some other stuff. I think he played Evelyn at one point.
Okay.
His Kha'Zix was his worst win rate by far.
This joke amongst EDG fans. There's like I don't know where they call like 120-pound Kha'Zix because he was so heavy. Like his teammates have to carry him.
Yeah, he has a 33% win rate, so I can understand that joke. But I could have gone Evelyn, but I threw Lee Sin in there because I was like, "Who? Every LPL jungler plays Lee Sin, so let's see."
Exactly. That's a tricky one. I see what you did there.
And I see some people in chat got that right. Obviously, Emily, her vast knowledge of the LPL. Question 3. My best boy, Balan, has played his entire career on Invictus Gaming, except for like 3 days on Blue Ocean Esports in 2015. But
Okay.
he was called something else for a period before doing his LeBron move to free agency, then returning to Invictus Gaming a few days later. What was the name of the best boy? A. Kevin, B. Megan, C. Julie, or D. Eric?
Oh, it's Megan. Everybody knows the good boy Megan. Megan and Morgan, the bot lane, the IG bot lane back in the day. How could I forget? How could I ever forget?
I tried to emphasize boy, so you'd go for Eric or Kevin.
We all know LPL has whack names, and Megan.
I want
is
him.
one.
I want him to go back to Megan so bad. It would be so fun.
Maybe he'll rebrand in like the summer split. Who knows?
Oh my god! He leaves IG. Balon left IG. IG signed a support called Megan. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! It's happening again.
Exactly.
Okay, question number 4. Who is my favorite past EDG player? I have to emphasize past because Viper is my favorite of all time but Viper's currently playing. A. Amazing J, B. Chieftain, why did I say that word? C. iBoy, or D. Maestro.
Wow, these are all very interesting names that you picked out. I thought you would go with like the Deft and the Pawns and the 401s and things like that.
As a Hanwha fan, I'm a fan of Deft, but I'm not actually that much of a fan of Deft.
I'm a fan of Deft, but I'm not actually that much.
I'm a Hanwha fan, a Hanwha Life Esports fan.
Right.
Harrow's. I mean, I enjoy Harrow because of his tattoos. I'm not the biggest Harrow stanner.
Okay, so Amazing J, Chieftain, iBoy, or Maestro. I'm just gonna. It's a toss-up for me between Amazing J and iBoy, but I'm gonna say iBoy.
Are we locking iBoy in?
Yes.
You're correct. I do love a bit of iBoy. I have like loads of pictures of his Vici gaming, like like when they were doing like the pictures after they win games last season because it was all online.
Right.
I have like all the Vici gaming ones saved because of iBoy.
iBoy, you hate to love him, you love to hate him. He goes in when he doesn't have to go in, but he will always go in. Also,
a weird kind of tidbit story. When I first came to university, where I'm living right now, I remember my friend, he was very into LPL, and he was like, "Oh, there's this girl that looks like iBoy." My friend's Chinese, by the way, before you say anything. He's like, "This girl looks like iBoy," and I'm like, "Who the hell is iBoy? What? Isn't that like a movie?" And then he's like, "No," and he showed me a picture, and I was like, "Oh, maybe." And he went and spoke to her, and she knows him. Now, he thinks that iBoy has a sister or something, and it was her. And I'm like, I highly doubt that she went to this university. Like, I really doubt that. But he was like, yeah, but he knows her. She knows him. And I'm like, wrong. But he's under the belief that he met iBoy's sister at university in London, by the way.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really. Do you know the origin story behind iBoy's name, like the ID iBoy?
Nope.
So it's actually very funny that before he was promoted to the EDG main team, and he was in like their secondary or the youth team, his name was Deft because
Oh.
he's a huge fan of Deft. So it was like DEIFT or something like, or DE1FT and things like that. But then when he got promoted to the main team, they were like, well, you can't have Deft obviously because a Deft already exists. So he didn't know what kind of name he was gonna go for. So he was just thinking of Boy. But then the coach, who was Nofe at the time, he was like, maybe you should put an I in front of it so that when people Google you or like search you, they won't just like they search Boy and then they'll just get pictures of boys. Yeah. So if you put iBoy, you're gonna pop up in the search engines a lot easier. He was like, that's a smart idea.
That's very smart.
That's the story of iBoy.
Isn't there a Netflix movie called iBoy that came out? Like, I think so. I think it is. I think it's a really bad movie. Oh wait, or is it? I can't remember. I think it was.
I think there's a Netflix movie called.
But I think it came out after he debuted. So iBoy was the original. They stole his name. He should sue Netflix. He'd get a lot of money.
Exactly.
Moving on to the next question. Question 5. The last time EDG finished top 3 in anything was when? A. LPL 2019, B. MSI 2015, C. Demacia Cup 2019, D. NEST 2020.
What, the last time they finished top 3?
Top 3 in anything.
I mean, was MSI 2015 an alternative there?
MSI 2015 was B.
MSI 2015.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're wrong. It's NEST 2020. They finished top 3.
Wait a second. I'm trying to think. In the group, we're up against.
And they played RNG in like a game, and they finished third. I don't know what happened, but I remember I just found it.
What was BMSM? Wait, what was B again?
MSI 2015.
Okay, MSI. God, I thought that they finished top 3 in MSI 2015. Because I think
MSI 2015 was the one they won.
Yeah, exactly, the one they won.
Yeah, they finished top 3 in like a few Demacia Cups since then. But I threw it in there because I was like, they finished first, so I'm gonna throw it in there because it will confuse you. And then LPL 2019, I just threw it in there because LPL 2019 is funny.
Please don't remind me of LPL 2019. Actually, don't remind me of any EDG post. Well, post what year? What year was the good year?
This year.
I guess. Don't say that. We're literally just like 4 weeks into the season.
You have Viper. It's a good year.
Okay, well, you have a point there, so.
Now, question number 6. Clearlove's best KDA was a 12-0-11 game in 2016. Who did he demolish? I think he also played Kha'Zix that game as well.
Oh, okay.
A. Snake Esports, rest in peace. B. Saint Gaming, rest in peace. C. OMG. D. IME, rest in peace.
It's C, OMG.
You're correct.
Yeah. I rewatched that game one too many times.
I saw it and was like, oh, he demolished OMG. Let me go look at the 2016 teams. And I was like, oh my god, Snake, IME, no.
I mean, that game was.
Rest in peace, OMG as well. I just got reminded.
Yeah, honestly, rest in peace to OMG. Yeah, that's a sad story in itself. But that game was so funny because the mic check is basically like OMG has basically given up all hope in the second game. Because that was the year EDG were undefeated in the summer split. And they were like, in game 2, they just focused on trying to take down Clearlove's KDA. They were just like, focus Clearlove. Focus Clearlove in every team fight. Everyone dies, but they're just like, focus Clearlove.
Finally, question number 7. It's probably the hardest question. According to GOL, or it's like Graphs of League or something, it's the stack-based collection people. As of this recording, how many games has Clearlove played in his whole career? according to this site? A, 368, B, 342, C, 401, D, 298.
Oh my god. I mean, he's played a lot of games, but then he's also sat out of a lot of games.
He's still sitting out of games now.
You don't mention that. Don't mention that. I'm trying to think right. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll go with like B. I don't know. I'll just go with B.
B? Oh,
B. Yeah.
wrong. It's A, 368.
God darn.
Yeah, he's I had to add his win loss together and was like, oh wow, he has a very good win loss percentage. This guy's a good player. Wow, didn't know.
Yeah, he has like one of the highest, like the best. If you compare it to how many games he's played in the LPL. But I mean, EDG were kind of on this huge dominating streak in the LPL back in the days, where they have the most trophies out of all orgs. So back in the days, it was good, and then I mean, now I guess. Well, we don't know what's gonna happen now. Let's just hope for the best.
I can say, I just had to do some very quick maths in my head. You've got 5 out of 7, which is a very respectable score, as soon as one of the questions was deliberately put there to throw you off. And is it 5 or was it 6? Oh, you got the last one wrong. Yeah. But I mean, the last one's very hard. That was the hardest question. I was like, I'm going to make a tough question because I want to be mean. Because I've given you some easy questions of who is my favorite past EDG player. Very easy.
And I managed to answer that one correctly.
Yeah,
so.
I checked that. I was like, let me look at past EDG players because obviously I already know iBoy, and I almost put Mako, and then realized I put past, and was like, what am I doing with my life?
Don't say any cursed things. Don't put them out into the air.
I'm a fan of Mako Viper. Okay, one of my favorite supports, one of my favorite ADC, combine.
Exactly.
Also, talking about favorite LPL supports, I just want to put this out there. I've made my grandfather a fan of Heng from Vici Gaming, now RA.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, so we was watching over the summer. We watched a few Vici Gaming games together, and I was watching LPL on our TV downstairs, and Vici Gaming was quite a few of them, and he was like, these guys look very young. And I was like, yeah, that guy's like 16, 17. He's pretty cool. And then Heng did like some insane play, and I was like, that's a good thing. And he's like, wow, he's a very cool guy. And I think my grandfather maybe he's not like a major, he doesn't watch LPL or something, but like if I put one on, he's like, oh, is the guy that you told me about playing? And I'm like, no, he's not playing today, don't worry.
Not playing today.
But he was like, wow, he's a cool guy. And I was like, am I gonna have Heng as an adopted brother or something? Is that what's gonna happen here?
He's now your brother. It's just that's how it is.
Man, I have siblings good at League of Legends.
That's just we don't choose the teams we like. They choose us, and then we're stuck with them for the unforeseeable future.
But as you can see on stream, my face has now brightened up because my skin is very pale. I'm basically as pale as Chris, which is funny because any white light makes me look insanely like a ghost. But now we're going to be moving on. Before I show my L's and that I'm a fraud of League of Legends, we're going to be picking the game for next week to watch.
Oh, okay.
So, correct one? Okay. As you can see, the wheel has returned. We consult the wheel for everything. As you can see, it's going to pick us a random game for the next guest of next week's show. Before I'm going to take a 2-week break like the LPL because I can't talk about LPL when there's no LPL. Very, very, makes me very sad. But we're going to... The games on there are LGD versus TT, JDG versus WE, and LNG versus RA. Let's go hang. Now, last time I did this, it made me do FPX versus IG, and I really don't like doing the big games on this because I want people to understand how cursed this league is.
Right.
I want you to watch LNG versus TT. You see, you're saying not LGD versus TT. That's going to be the homework game. The wheel will make it.
Yeah, LGD versus TT would be so cursed. I mean, JDG versus W is also cursed, but it's like not on the same level of cursed as the other.
I picked the most cursed games. Also, one of these games is basically confirmed that we have to predict the scoreline for one of these as well.
My God.
So hopefully it's kind to us all. As we click spin, Will it happen? Will it happen? Will it give me the... Oh! It's giving us a very cursed game. It's JDG versus WE. It's giving an
God.
applaud. Don't applaud that, Will. Don't applaud that. It's not... That's not... But yeah, so whoever's coming on my show next week, enjoy. A very good series, because you're going to enjoy that. But now, because also we had to predict last week's one, it's time to move on predictions, where I'm debuting a very new graphic that I made in like an hour, and it took all my brain power. As you can see, it's updated, and you can see above Linda, it's mine and the guest of last week, who was Trajan, who scored an 8 points. Now, if you don't know how the scoring works, you get 1 point for the correct like prediction of the game. RNG win, you get 1 point. If you predict the correct game score, you get 2 points. If you get it wrong, you get 0. As you can see, I picked up a point in the RNG WE series. I felt happy, and then yeah, I've got the past predictions because I like to read them out, so then everyone can understand how much of a fraud I am. The guests are smurfing. Davis is correct. It's a 20-11 lead. Oh, I'm scared of how this is going to play out. This is the correct... This is my correct notes. Okay. I had to make sure I had the correct notes. So, BLG versus LGD, me and Trajan both predicted 2-0 to BLG. Thank God that happened. RNG versus WE, I said 2-0 RNG. Trajan said 2-1 RNG. I get 2. Trajan gets 1. Now, the IGFPX score. As you can see, Trajan managed to pick up 2 points, so you know he got it correct. What did I predict? I predicted a 2-1 to IG. Get me out.
The loyalty of a fan. It's beautiful.
I don't know if you saw this, but I said, because I was so like confident in summer last year. I was like, damn, IG did well in spring split. We did bad in playoffs, but we can do better. If IG get top, I think it was, if we get like first or second in the regular season, if we don't, I'll shave my head. But I'll make the bet even more. So we get that. My hair's still on the line. We'll go. I also was going through the phase of wanting to shave my hair, so I needed a reason to do it because I'd procrastinate otherwise. So I was like, if we don't come top 3 in playoffs, because it's like we're not getting top 2, I'll shave my head. If we don't, I'll shave my head. If we didn't even get top 3 in regular season or top 2 because someone picked Z. That's why that cursed game really hurt my feelings. Even though I wanted to shave my head, it just felt worse. And my mother had a very good time of cutting my hair off. So, yeah, I've had to grow it back for the past few months. But I had a nice time with a bald head.
Right, and you know, you got closer to IG. You saw a new side to them.
What I realized from that and what I forgot about is I should never bet on IG. I should always bet against them. So
That's very true.
Because if I bet for them, they're going to hurt my feelings. It's like supporting them. It's hurting your feelings. When we move on to the next one, JDG versus TS, or TS versus JDG, I predicted a 2-0 for JDG. I don't know why. I was like, hey, you know, Zoom's a good player, you know? And I don't know. Yeah. I'm losing my mind, okay? And
Zoom is a good player, but you need to think about the whole picture.
Yeah, I'm too focused on one player's. I told you I'm a fraud. I've been exposed multiple times. And Trajan predicted 2-1 to TS. Obviously, the game ended in 2-0. All these games ended in 2-0. I just realized.
Oh wow, yeah.
That's so weird.
That is very weird.
Obviously, shout out EDG. You came through with giving me 2 points. But I mean, okay, Trajan managed to get 8 points, and I managed to get 6, which is better than what I got before, because I had 1 point going into last week. I think I had 5 points at the end of that week, and now I'm improving. I went from 1 to 5 to 6. Now the guests have gone from 4 to 8 to 8. So now, Linda, what I've got to ask you is, how confident are you in your predictions?
Oh my God! Well, you know what they say in the LPL. We just run it down.
Now, because the thing is, I have a chance here because you and I are both LPL watchers, or I don't know how much LPL I've been watching because I'm in a different universe these days. So there's a chance that I can pull it back here. But what I told you before is you've got 3 other people, because the guests are an entity together. So if you throw, I think you're gonna have some very angry people in chat. Obviously, you might not be in chat. You might not even be on the. You won't be on the show next week for them to scream at you, but they know your Twitter, so that's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna get like a flood of angry DMs.
If you
for
let
their
Eris beat you in a score, it's doomed.
It's doomed. It's
So-
actually doomed.
So
my
the
guy.
game. So obviously, we're gonna be predicting the games. I'm gonna randomly select them from the screen on my right here because I have the
Mhm.
schedule open. Now there's only 4 days of games left, but this Saturday and Sunday have 3 games on them. Holy
Alright.
crap! So game 1, FPX versus LNG. Now before you say anything, I'm gonna write down my prediction and then I'll let you go through your thought process of what you're expecting from this game. As my screen decided to say, hey, EURL's wrong, go watch them. No, I want to watch FPX versus LNG. What is your prediction, Linda?
I'm gonna say 2-0 for FPX.
Ah,
FPX are gonna 2-0.
so I guess we're both getting 2 points from that game because I've gone for a 2-0 for FPX. I'm going to make us predict some cursed games. LGD versus TT. I think TT have got this one. It's a 2-0 TT. Even though
Can't they just both lose? Can't they just both lose?
Well, the thing is, I love Uniboy and I'm a big Garvey stanner, but like TT, I just love the name, so they win in my heart every time.
Okay, I need to think who's on TT's roster. They have Xiaopeng, they have Twila, and then LGD has. Well, Kramer's coming back. Has Kramer played? Kramer has.
I think he did.
He did play, yeah, but he just came back to the roster, and they have Uniboy, but they're both bottom of the barrel teams. No offense to them.
That's what we
No
have to
offense to them.
predict it.
Okay, well, okay, I'll 2-1 LGD. I'll say 2-1 LGD
2-1 LGD. So
in favor of LGD.
there's a chance
Yeah.
for me to get points. There's a chance
Yes.
for me to get points. Let's go. Okay, the next game we have to predict on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Suning versus EDG.
Oh no! Well, I can't not cheer. I mean, Suning has been doing well so far too, but it is my boys, so I will go with a 2-1 EDG.
Oh, I've got full confidence in Viper to carry. I'm going 2-0.
Oh wow, that's the you
And
got
that-
the confidence,
and-
but also it's EDG.
But yeah, and I'm also throwing Huanfeng under the bus. Who used to play in IG Young.
Doing that. You're also throwing him under the bus.
I'm a true IG fan. I'm not betting with IG anymore. Okay, now the game of the week, the homework game, JDG
Yeah.
versus WE. How cursed is this result gonna be?
I mean, the thing about JDG is that on paper they should be a good team, while WE is like for non-LPL watchers, it's like what's a Joeman? I don't know what a teacher ma is, things like that. But looking at the trajectory of both teams, I'm gonna go with a 2-1 in favor of WE against JDG.
Oh,
So I'm thinking WE because Beishang has been doing a really good job, and I feel like Kanavi hasn't really been stepping it up the way he did last year.
I'm keeping my faith in Jindong. It's
wow.
a 2-1 JDG. This is the game they come back. This is the erys gambit. I've got to learn how to get points. I've got to throw a gambit in there. Now it's not me saying RA are gonna 2-0 RNG again, but it's a gambit. It's a chance.
Okay.
It's a chance at the points. The final game, because I forced you to predict with the EDG, it's IG versus RNG. I'm gonna hit you with my prediction. It's a 2-0 RNG. Goodbye, the shy.
But didn't RNG lose to? Wait, they lost to BLG and they never beat him BLG. Okay, wait. I need to think. Yeah, you just threw IG under the bus. But also,
what did I tell you? I need to learn to never bet on IG. I need to bet against because I can't lose in this situation. If RNG 2-0, I get points. If RNG win, I get points. If IG win, I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's happiness and points. You can't lose.
So you're looking forward to seeing Xiaohu beat the Shy.
Oh my god, please. Oriana intervene. Oh.
Yeah, he's gonna whip out the Oriana. Okay, I'm gonna say 2-1 for RNG.
2-1.
I think IG can get one game, but I think RNG is gonna get the series.
I want it to be the fastest 2-0 I've ever witnessed, so I can just go to bed after it because it's after LNG RA, E-Star V5, and then IG RNG. That is a day of
boy.
games.
E-Star V5. Ugh, yeah, that is a day of games, and they all start like super early as well.
But just to go through our predictions, so just so everyone was listening, the first game FPX LNG, I went for 2-0 FPX. We both agreed on 2-0 for FPX. Game 2 is LGD versus TT. I went for a 2-0 for Thunder Talk Gaming, because they're the greatest name in League of Legends. Linda went for a 2-1 to LGD. Suning versus EDG. I went for a 2-0 EDG. Linda went for a 2-1 EDG, because Suning are playing well, apparently. JDG versus WE. I've gone for a 2-1 for JDG, because it's my gambit. It's the one I need to get points on. Linda's gone for a 2-1 for WE, because what's a teacher, ma? That's good reasoning.
Exactly. What is a teacher, ma?
And then IG versus RNG. I've gone for 2-0 RNG. Linda went for a 2-1 RNG. Because I can't lose in this situation. It's a win-win. Now,
right, exactly.
Now the thing is, if EDG don't 2-0, I'm gonna be angry, by the way. Because
that's the thing with EDG. You never know. Never know.
Because they're gonna win. I swear, they're definitely gonna win, right? But the problem is, if they win 2-1, the guys get 2 points. There's something I don't want to happen. There's a chance for me. There isn't a chance. I don't think I can claw it all the way back because we've like done the same guess as predictions. The FPX game, we both could get 2 points wrong, both could get 1 point. Means we're just gonna go even on that game. I don't think there's a chance for me to claw it back this week, but it's all about. It's not a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. I'm slowly gonna break away these points that week 1, week 2 erys decided to run it down on. Averaging 6 points a week is a good thing. I swear, guys. I'm not just gonna get 8 pointed every week.
Well, I'm absolutely awful at predictions, so this might just be the comeback. It might just be the comeback.
The thing is though, my past guests have literally, I've said a team name and they've gone, give me a moment, let me just see who the player is. Do I recognize the player? I don't know what a Thunder Talk Gaming is. Who is this guy? Twyla? Twyla? Who's Twyla? And then they guess it and they get it right, and I'm like, huh?
What about me and all my background knowledge of actually having to sit through TT games?
All my knowledge of that Coach Chris wanted to fight XX at one point in a backdoor of the LNG game.
Exactly. And that Xiaopeng is permanently like elo cursed, chained to the depths of hell.
I used to think Xiaopeng was an annoying jungler, and then I just realized he's annoying because he's just with a hellish team, and I was like, yeah, it would make me like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough life in the LPL bottom scraps.
When someone said IG Xiaopeng, I was like, please no, and then I realized Xiaopeng's actually a good jungler, and I was like, actually maybe. And then it was IG Shun, and I was like, hell yeah, stonks.
And how does the stonks feel now?
Good. I'm very happy, as you can tell, with my FPX posters.
Exactly. And you're 2-0 in RNG's favor.
Yeah, I'm definitely. If anyone from Epic this game and watches this, they're just gonna be like, "Who the hell is this guy? Why does he call himself the IG International Stan? Like, self-proclaimed fan club owner."
That's how they know you're a true fan, because you see beyond the fan spectacles, the glasses.
I see beyond Ning's £1,000 shoes, and I understand why he bought them.
Exactly. You see beyond the fact that you could literally just put a pair of shoes on Ning's spot and they would play the same way Ning plays. And you see beyond it. I have a lot of feelings about Ning. I'm not gonna go too deep into them, but I'm just gonna say he's a fun guy.
I was literally about to say, just to end the show off, I like to ask questions from chat about me, about Linda, about anything. If you want to just ask anything. And a question just pops up before I say it. How do you feel about the song Runner, the new T1 song with Changwon and Baekhyun? Now,
I mean,
your Twitter, you've been saying a lot on Twitter that your K-pop boys are coming into esports and it's annoying you / why they mixing. But I mean, it's a good song, right?
I mean, it is a good song. If T1 could perform the same way that song sounds, they would be top of the league, undefeated. But sadly, that is not how it is. Those are my feelings on the song.
T1's just an entertainment company at the end of the day.
Yep. It's just that we film commercials and then we play some video games on the side. Some clickety clacks.
But I mean, that's a good. It's a good. It's a weird thing to like think about, like how the K-pop world. I wouldn't say K-pop, but I mean like celebrities basically.
Mhm.
How they're mixing in with esports. Now I know in Korea it's like a huge culture over there. It's a huge
Right.
fandom. Like Faker is like known. Like he
Mhm.
is known, and like celebrities are fans of him. Obviously, the member of Super Junior, who I always forget the name of, but I'm also a
Oh,
big
Hicho?
yeah. There you go, Hicho. I watch Running Man, okay, and I love him. I don't know his name sometimes, but I'm really bad at names. Like you could ask me for my own name sometimes. I'm like, what the hell is my name? But yeah, so
Fair enough.
like he's like a huge fan of Faker. There's also like Baekhyun. I think Baekhyun streams him playing PUBG a lot. Chanyeol and I think Sehun were on a stream with some LPL guys. Then there's obviously the song. Sehun invested in wait, I forgot the name of them because they were fun. The team with Ixu on, okay, he invested and they didn't get into the LCK. That's kind of sad. Also, Jackson Wong is like a co-investor or something of V5,
Mhm.
which
Exactly.
it's so weird to think about. Like, but
Right.
it's similar here as well.
Yeah, but it's the same with LPL. Like you have huge celebrities that are fans of like
Mm,
Uzi and Jackie Love and things. I mean, Jackie Love has the whole endorsement with Dior and things like
mm.
that. Like they have like actual huge brand deals, which is weird because they're just grimy gamers at the end of the day. But I guess that sells nowadays.
The funniest thing I actually love from the LPL is when I think it's only TS, maybe only TS do it. Is when they sign someone, they have the picture in front of the TS logo with the Nike shoes. And I'm just like, I can't wait till Ning signs with them, and there's no shoes there because he owns all their shoes.
They'll just show his entire shoe
Yeah,
collection.
they have like 20 guys, and he has to like select which one he wants because I have this one. But
Right.
yeah, I mean like in the West it's similar because I think TL signed the actor slash kind of signed. I don't know the full logistics into it because I don't keep up with a lot of esports news. Yeah, I'm a writer, I swear. But they signed the guy from Sex Education. I forgot his name, but yeah, he's a part of them. I found that out recently and was like, what the hell is going on here? Uh, but yeah, like that happens, and I think it's becoming a bit more normal to see that happening. And like you also have to think that a lot of these K-pop guys they're older than we used to think. I mean, I'm still young, but like I've followed EXO for about 6 years now, and it's like, oh, they actually have lives they're gonna live now. So they're trying to make stuff happen.
You know, they can actually invest in other avenues, which is apparently esports. I don't know why they would want to suffer and succumb into this place, but you know, not everyone has a great nogging up here.
But I mean,
Just look at us talking about.
if there is any other questions in chat, please just throw them in there. I see EDG best team in the world.
Please
Pause
don't
champ.
say that.
Pause champ.
Please do not say EDG best team in the world. Anytime someone praises EDG, it just hurts me.
It's like, please. Wait, so would you prefer if people like said EDG are bad and you're like, yes?
I mean, see, this is the weird thing. If Flounder best top in the world, okay, we can go. But Flounder has suffered enough. He can
Mm,
be best top in the world. I will allow it. But I think, okay, so this is a weird thing that I have where it's like, so you know, because we're LPL fans. So when
mm.
we say our region sucks, it's like it's
Oh
fine
yeah,
because
yeah,
you know
yeah.
we watch it. But then if it's like random LEC or like LCS fans, they're like, yeah, LPL sucks. It's like, nah, now
That's
calm
too
down,
far. Too far.
calm
Too far.
down. You
Yeah.
you can't say that. You're not here.
Okay. Yeah. You're in the same position as what I am with my friends, where I'm like, where people are like I'm begging IG to lose. I'm like, put me out of my misery. Just lose. And my friends are like, why? They're your favorite team. They can't be that. Why are you begging? I'm like, you don't understand.
Exactly. You don't understand.
Okay, a question from League of Emily, Miss Emily Rand. If EXO were playing League of Legends together, who would play what position? Oh, that's a
Oh, that's
good question.
that is an interesting one. Okay, so when Seon and Chanyeol had that League of Legends like stream on Huya, Seon plays exclusively AD carry,
That makes sense. He's a
and
dan-
he's yeah
he's
he's
a, he's a
pretty
dancer. He wants the attention. Now I will throw one in there.
good at it. Okay, who?
Suho support.
I was just gonna say it. I
Yep.
was just gonna say it. The support and like shock collar. He does that. Yeah. So like Seon and Suho in the bot lane.
I think jungler. Now junglers are usually psychopaths. Okay.
No, that's true.
Now
That is true.
there's I don't think he is a literal psychopath, but he gives off the vibe sometimes. Dio.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say Dio, but I was thinking of Dio on like in the top lane because you know how they're like alone
Oh,
on their little island,
Oh yeah,
you
actually,
know,
wait, yeah, that could be. Then who would
and
be
you
the
also
jungler?
kind of have to be a psychopath to be.
Hmm. Also, Dio gives off the vibe that the Shy gives off, where like he's gonna be like straight faced the whole time, and then something bad happens, and he's like, like smiling, and it's like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
It's like, let's go. So jungler, I mean, hmm, but junglers can also be kind of crazy.
Hmm.
Like if we think like jungler and mid laner
I think
would be
Bakyon.
the
I
mid
think
laner.
Bakyon's a good candidate for jungler actually.
Yeah, I was
How
thinking Baekhyun
loud
as
he
well.
is,
Mhm.
screaming. It makes sense. It checks out. Mid laner
Right,
though. Now, who is
mid
the
lane.
faker of EXO?
Who's the faker of EXO? Wow. Oh, that's a tall task. That is a huge task.
I feel like
I think that
Chen would be the coach.
mm, yeah, I feel like
He's
Chen would.
he's a family man now. He doesn't really want to play games.
True.
He wants to sit there and coach his team. I think that checks out.
That is true. You know, he's got the
Oh,
responsibility in him. We also
wait,
got Schumann and Chanyeol, and also Lei. We can say that Lei.
also Kai.
And maybe Kai could be
I
a mid
was literally
laner.
gonna say Kai would check out as a mid laner because the mid laner is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the flashy like middleman. It's like, oh,
Right.
he's the guy, and it's like, yeah, he check out. The rest of them they can just be subs.
Yeah,
They can ride
exactly.
the SM bench.
Okay, yes, we got it. Because when Chanyeol was playing with Seon on that stream, he played like solely Vladimir in the mid lane, and he was awful. Yes, offense to him. He was so bad. It was just so painful to watch. But yeah, we got the team. I'm gonna write it down
and then
in the chat.
and then there's and then there's the three members that left, which is depressing.
Well, we do not mention the past. Okay, we're not.
they're forming their own org in China, and they're gonna take down our EXO org.
Oh my God, it's like the Civil War happens.
They're gonna
Okay,
take Lei as well off the bench because he's mad, and he's gonna partner with Lei from the LPL, the support, and they're gonna be the bot lane Lei
right.
and Lei.
Not Lei and Lei. Oh boy. Oh, poor Lei. He also had a rough time. He did not have a good time at all.
Wait, are we talking about
Sure.
LPL Lei or EXO Lei? Real quick, gotta make sure.
That's LPL Lei. We're talking
LPL Lei,
LPL Lei now.
because it kind of checks out for both of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, here we go. We got our little squad in there.
Look at that. I mean,
Look at
like
that.
if Dio's losing his mind, which he probably is, top lane, just sub in Chanyeol, put him on Vlad.
Exactly.
It's just the Shy.
Yeah.
You can't lose.
What do you even need to do when you're playing Vlad? You just scale.
Oh,
You're done.
there you go.
You
He just
scale.
wins, and you go back and just. The things I can envision this squad being pure chaos now, and I want it to. We need a, you know how BTS did the BTS run with T1.
Exactly.
We
We
need
need to pitch this.
we need someone to pitch EXO versus like, I don't know, maybe you can't do it with T1 because they did it with BTS. Actually no,
Oh,
wait, well they go back here now. But I think
that's true.
I don't want it to be T1. Make it Hanwha. Make it fun.
But what about?
Depth
I mean, they're probably gonna do the top team, so like Damwon or something.
Did you say top teams and I said Hanwha? Like, hello? Hanwha's
Yeah.
a bank. We have money. Genji, that would be incredible.
She could work. Thank you, League of Emily.
Haven't they? Have they?
Have they done K-pop stuff? Has Ruler done K-pop stuff?
I mean, he looks like a K-pop star half the time.
That is true.
It-
He also has the mentality of a K-pop celebrity of, suffering, but still pulling
Oh,
through.
yeah, Soul Dynasty. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, same org.
Okay.
Yeah, it checks out. It checks out. But like, yeah, that
Well, yeah, Genji's PUBG team, they had a stream with Baekhyun.
Oh, Baekhyun's a traitor.
Yeah.
Damn. Was he?
game trader.
He's not affiliated. Also, I don't think
Yep.
Sehun could play against T1 or Genji, but he can't play for them because he's affiliated with another org that he's invested in
Right,
that
exactly.
still exists.
But technically not in the LCK.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing because they signed Ixu, and obviously Ixu's not on the team anymore. I don't know where Ixu is. I kind of miss Ixu. I really want him back. I want him to appear in LPL at one point. His Alawi top in the LPL would work so well.
Maybe he's just investing in bitcoins. Wasn't that a thing that Ixo did?
He could
He
have
did like
been.
bitcoins.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what Crown's doing on his stream. I think he's streaming right now.
I'm so sad. Crown, don't do that to yourself.
He's just streaming him investing, listening to classical music, and I was like, yeah, I'm educated.
When he said, I'm moving on from esports, I thought that he would move on to better things, not to this.
He was playing, one day I tuned in and he was playing like the original StarCraft online or something, and he was like shouting swear words, and I was like, this isn't Crown. You're not supposed to talk. Usually very quiet. What is this? Who is this new man? Oh. Anyway, I think that is bringing to the end of the show. It's been a long one actually, which is incredible.
Wow.
Because usually sometimes the questions they get asked and we go through them really quick. I mean, we went through them pretty quick, but there's a lot of content today. I think I might do the quiz as a staple now to test people's new LPL knowledge.
You should. It was like pretty fun, honestly.
My favorite. I'm gonna come up with my favorite player between 2016 and 2015, and it can't be the big from the top 4 teams. Now
Right.
figure it out.
Everyone just frantically Googled.
And it's some obscure player that never played. He's just there for like a little bit.
Exactly.
I mean, I think I have a tendency to like more obscure players, but we'll come to an end of the show. Thanks for coming on. Do you want to plug anything you're doing at all?
No, not really. I guess it's just to, if people want to tune into the LPL, they broadcast literally every single day. It's a super interesting league and definitely something you should check out. And also, it was super fun to be invited to this. It's like my first time being on a kind of like stream-ish. We're just, chatting about fun stuff. And, it's just like fans talking about what we enjoy.
The idea of the show was to introduce like less people that don't know the LPL to the LPL. It's like, okay, the LPL is a beast. You might understand Suning, FPX, but you don't understand the chaos.
Right.
And it's
exactly.
like that's why like we pick random games like LGD versus TT. Go watch that, and it's like, why? Who are these orgs? And it's like, now you don't know anything. Now you know a little bit of my pain.
Right, exactly.
I'm trying to be the gateway drug.
Yeah, exactly. You're just guiding the sheep to slaughter. Well, not really, but you're just giving them a new perspective on life.
Yeah, I'm saying, oh, you watch LEC, that's fun. Watch this instead, buddy. But yeah, thanks all for coming out and watching, Linda and everyone in chat. Thanks for being an active chat and throwing some really good questions. The extra questions actually very good. Also, if you look below me, there should be a YouTube link there next to my name now. That's where the VODs are going. Someone said to one of my friends was like, I can't watch this because it's just 3 a.m. my time. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not considerate of people that live in like the Philippines or Malaysia and stuff. I have a few friends out there. They want to watch. And if you want to just catch up on the other 3 shows that have happened, one of them is very scuffed because it's the first show. Happens. You got to learn. But yeah, they're all down there. This is going to be on there later on. If you're watching on the YouTube VOD, thanks for watching. You've probably sat there and lost your mind for about an hour and a half. But yeah, YouTube's there now. Obvious, and you'll see a bunch of K-pop stuff below me. Don't question it, just accept it. But thanks, Linda, for coming on, and thanks
so much for inviting me.
No worries. Also, go check out Linda's Twitter. I put it in the Twitch chat. If you don't already know, you should know because I think everyone knows Linda. Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.